Okay. All right. Wie wohl es ist hayu an umgeretnisch hat men wie alle Jul in dem Tag, was hat abgeschnitten de letzte Beit, eingericht a Yom Tov. So this first, I don't know whether you'd call it a clause or a phrase. First of all, geretnisch. I've always thought of the word retnish as a riddle, and I don't know how it's used here.
No,
Or
I guess geretnish is like a good house.
yeah.
say again.
Geretnish is a good house. Geretnish is like unchill, bad house. Bad house, sorry.
Oh, a bad year.
Yeah.
Like as much as this was a bad year. Ungeretnisch. Okay, very good. Thank you. It was like every year in the day when they cut the last plot, the last garden plot. It was a Yom Tov for them. It was a holiday for them. Mädlach mit Kretzlech in der Haar haben sich zu neuf genuffen in Feld. Girls with garlands in their hair were gathered in the field. Poirim und Poirkes seien gestanden herum. The peasants and the peasant women were standing around. The Gayik hat geworfen Gorl. Wer es soll abschneiden de Baba. Okay. Zygayik. He is the administrator of this dorf, of this town, had thrown, it was like chances or turns or lots, I guess, who was going to cut the Baba. Now, we talked last time just a little bit about what the Baba was. Yaakov said he thought it was insects. And we thought maybe it was a spirit. So who is going to cut this spirit? Mir hat gezeugen Knipplech und jener, was hat herausgezeugen das Knippel, hat abgeschnitten de letzte Beit und ist allein geworden a Babe. So they pulled knots. Knipplach, I always think of a knippel is like a knot.
Buttons.
Buttons. Knep. A knep is a button. Yes, that's right. There's that famous story with knep. Okay. And the one who pulled out the button, or the favored lot, would cut the last garden plot and would become the Baba. Mir hat herumgewickelt die Sangin herum ihr Körper und gebunden mit Streu. So they wrapped her body with corn sheaves or some kind of corn sheaves, and then around her body and bound it with straw. So that was how they indicated that this was the Baba. Mir hat sie aufgesetzt auf Wägele mit pilzener Räder und 4 Chloppes haben sie geführt von Kat zu Kate. They sat her on a wagon with wooden wheels, and 4 chlupas, 4 sturdy peasants, dragged her along from cottage to cottage.
Why sturdy? Just boys.
Just peasants, chlupas. Probably that's a Slavic word, yeah.
Chlopec is just a boy.
It's just a boy? A chlop is a boy?
Yeah.
Well, I think I remember my mother using the word chloppa. Das ganze Dorf ist noch gegangen, gelacht, gesungen, gepascht mit den Händen. It's a beautiful ceremony. The whole town went along, laughing, singing, and clapping hands. Mir hat erzählt, als in the alte Zeiten, they said that in the altogether older times, when the light haben noch gedient gegessen, when the people had worshipped the idols, hat wenn die Baba der trunken in Teich, they would actually drown the Baba in the river. Aber jetzt ist das Dorf a christlicher Yeshuv. But now the town had become a Christian area, a Christian place, and they certainly couldn't do this. Die Nacht noch in Abschneiden der Baba haben die Poirim getrunken, getanzt. The night after the cutting down of the Baba, the peasants drank and danced. Die Moit.
Entschuldigt mir, I don't know if I'm thinking right or not, but the Baba sounds to me like what we call a scarecrow because of the straw, but I may be wrong.
Well, it sounds like at one time it was actually a person, some sort of a spirit here in this. But you're right, it's kind of mysterious, but it's become straw. It has become straw. Die Moit, was hat abgeschnitten die Baba, hat getanzt mit der Jung, was mir hat ihm gemacht für a Hon. Getting more interesting, the girl, the young woman who was cut off as the Baba, would dance with a young man who was dressed up like a hen. Hat gekait, klomerscht, gepatscht mit die Fliegel, freilich gemacht die Schreinen. The hen, the young man, he had crowed. Apparently, he had clapped with his wings, and he made all of the neighbors very happy. Hat sich angetun a paar Fliegel und a Kamm. He dressed himself with a wings, Fliegel, and a coxcomb, like as though he were a hen. Hat zugebunden zu die Knekht, Hilzener Sporen, wo seinen geblieben liegen von Jahr zu Jahr. He bound to his ankles wooden, must be like some kind of a spur or some kind of a piece, which remained in the town from year to year. This was saved from year to year. Der Jung was war a Jolen gewein der Hon. The young man who the year before was the hen, hat sich euch verstellt für a Hon, und beide Henner haben klomersch sich gerangelt, gesprungen einem gegen anderen, sich angeblasen sich, gerissen beide Federn. So the young man who was the previous year's hen, he also dressed himself up as a hen, and the two of them had apparently they sort of struggled together. They danced one against the other. They sort of blew on each other, one on the other, and they pulled each other's feathers. De Moiden haben schier nicht geplatzt und gelächter. The girls had almost just passed out from laughter. Der verjurige Hon is geworden Bazi. The previous year's hen was defeated. And by the way, there's a good example where the prefix zigen is to win, and bazigen is to be defeated. So, azoi hot verlangt die Zeremonia. This was required by the ceremony, that the previous year's hen would be defeated by this year's hen. Und der Haarjurige Hon hat getanzt mit der Bobbe, was hat sich verkleidet für a Machschefer. And this year's hen danced with the Baba, who was dressed like a witch. Eingeschmiertes Ponne mit Russ, gefochet mit a Besem, was auf ihm flieht sie Klomersch Shabbos-Nacht zu the andere Machshefes. So this year's hen, the winner, would dance with the Baba, who was dressed up like a witch. Her face was smeared with soot, and she would fan herself around with a broom, which apparently she was going to Shabbos zu Nacht, Shabbos towards evening, going to go to the other witches. Sie hat sich mit Lomperscht gesetzt, reiten auf a Reif. She sat apparently on a kind of a hoop. Und untergehäuben die Jacke bis über die Knie. And so she sat on this hoop, and she raised the yaka. And I'm sure you all know the expression that Israelis use for the Germans, the yekas, her jacket, the yaka, over her knees. Die Poirim haben vergessen, weil alle Sorgen. The peasants, in the meantime, forgot all their worries. Die Kinder haben nicht gewollt gehen schlafen, getrunken Okavit, we discussed this last time or 2 times back, gelacht und gechachet bis spät. The children, they didn't want to go to sleep. They drank that alcoholic drink that was described, and they giggled until late at night. Machmes in a christlich Dorf tormen nicht der trinken kein lebendiger Baba, because in a Christian village you could not drown a live Baba. Haben die Jünger geformt a streuene Baba. The youth put together a straw Baba. Mi hat sie also zu neuf gestellt, als sie hat ausgesehen wie lebendig. They put her together so that she appeared to be alive, mit a Kopf, with a head, mit Brüsten, with breasts, mit Hüften, mit Fies, with a head, with breasts, with hips, with feet. Anstatt Augen hat man ihr reingesteckt 2 Keulen. Instead of eyes, they put in her 2 pieces of coal. Zu Sun Aufgang, so we're already, the night is past. Zu Sun Aufgang hat man geführt die Baba zum Teich. As the rising of the sun, they led the Baba to the river. Die Weiber haben geschrien auf der streuene Baba. The women screamed to the straw Baba, ihr angesucht, sie soll mitnehmen mit sich alle Suchten, that she should, they yelled to her that she should take with herself all, I don't know what Suchten is, what their troubles, their bad things. Alle Begegnischen, now I know what that means, all misfortunes. Alle Kishif Toirayen, all magical doings. Alle Untergang, all depressions, anything that declined. Take it with you. Der Mannsleid und die Kinder haben auf ihr gespiegen. The men and the children spit on the straw Baba. Mir hat sie reingeworfen in Teich und mir hat geguckt, wie sie keikelt sich, ich, barg auf und werd getragen mit der Strom. What a ceremony, wow. They threw her into the river, and they looked the way she rolled along, and she was carried along with the current, with the strom, with the current. Mir hat gewusst, als der Fluss fällt rein in dem Weißel. They knew that the current flowed into, well, I would say the Vistula. I don't know. How do you say that, Chaim? You don't say Vistula. You say Vitzel? How do you say the river in Russian?
In Russian, Wisla.
Wisla, yeah, I think that's how the Poles say it. The Weißel wieder gießt sich rein in Yam. And the Vistula further on falls into the sea. In großen Yam warten auf der Baba Beise Geister. In the sea, there await who waits for the Baba? Evil spirits. Wie wohl, again, wie wohl, sie ist a Streuner, nicht a Lebendiger, haben die weichherzige Meuden vergossen auf ihr Ertrail. Even though she's only made out of straw and isn't alive, the warm-hearted, soft-hearted young women wept a tear on her. I'm not giving Chaim a chance. Chaim, that's it. You go.
I have 10 minutes left. Okay. Is then as a größer Unterschied zwischen Leib und Streu? Is there any big difference, any large difference between body, living body and straw? Yankov is euch gewen dabei, wenn man hat die Bobbe weggenommen, Problem. Geschickt. So Yaakov also nearby when they sent out the Baba. Man hat ihm gegeben zu trinken Okavit, so he was given vodka to drink. Wanda, was ist gestanden neben Yankov, hat ihm eingeräumt. Wanda, who was standing near him, told quietly to him, Halewai wollte ich gewen auf ihr Ort. So if so I kind of wish that I were in her place. And wollte geschwommen mit dir bis Eckwelt. in this case, I would swim with you till the end of the world. Zum Morgens hat das Dorf sich genommen zum Dreschen. So the following morning, the village starting the threshing, the kind of bearbeiten, them working on the harvest. Man hat einen ganzen Tag gehört Klappen mit die Zeppes. So so there was a sound of beating with the, how you told me, the flay. You told me last time. Flail. Yeah. So the sound of this flails beating the seeds out. Zumal hat sich der Trogen von zwischen die Zangen Siefts oder versteckte Geschrei. Sometimes there was like silent scream, or what is this English word for zifts, like sigh. Yeah, sigh. Keep forgetting this word. So sometimes a sound of a sigh or silent or scream was carried from this from the corpse.
Sorry, I think probably a better translation of Verstecktgeschrei would be a choked shout.
Yeah, choked. Yeah, choke or muffled, probably. Yeah, yeah, cry. Das seien die Babelech umgekommen unter die Klepp. Oh. It were the small babas that kind of came under the heating. Die Ofenten seinen gewinn warme und noch ein Nachtmahl haben die Drescher und Drescherins zu neu geklebten Zweigen ungezünden Feuer. So the evenings were warm, and after the supper, the people and ladies that dealt with this threshing got collected, picked branches and bent up a fire, or started a fire. Man hat gegessen, sich gefragt, Rettenischen, sich erzählt, meistens wegen Schäden, Lopituten, Wilkolaken. So people ate, asked puzzles from each other, told to each other stories about evil spirits, werewolves, and I'm not sure, I don't remember what is Lopitut, but also I guess some kind of
Lopitut is demons.
Demon, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is the difference between Shadim and Zopitututu.
You have to come from that part of Poland.
Trying to get the difference. Okay,
From Bilgorai.
Belgorod. Yeah. Die die gräulichste von alle Geschichtes ist die Geschichte von dem schwarzen Feld, was ist gewachsen, der Ruf schwarzer Korn und ein schwarzer Schnitter hat es abgeschnitten mit einer schwarzer Kosse. Wow.
Sehr schwarz.
Everything is schwarz, sehr schrecklich. So the most what do you call thrilling story was about black where was it black field where black rye grew up and the black kacha or harvester came to harvest the crop with a Schwarz sickle, or how do you call it? No, not a sickle. It's long. It's long. Sickle is a short one. The long one. How do you call it?
A
A
scythe.
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 Yeah. Like that. Death has a big scythe.
Yeah. Silent C.
The
To make it
one.
difficult for you.
Yeah. Exactly. Die Meuden haben ausgeschrieben von Furcht sich getulet zu den Jungen und eine zu der andere. So the girls screamed and from fear and leaned against young boys and against each other. Azoi wie die Tage seinen gewen lichtig, seinen die Abend finster. So as much as the days were bright, so the evenings were dark. Sternen seinen gefallen. The stars were falling. Die Fresh haben gequacket mit menschlichen Stimmen. The frogs how do you call it in English?
They croaked.
Croaked with human voices.
Mm-hmm.
Zumal ist geworden zwischen die Meuden Harmider. Sometimes between the girls happened Balagan with Harmider, like a mess, a mess.
Yeah.
Balagan. Von, ich weiß nicht, man sagt Balagan auf Englisch oder in Hebräisch?
Hebrewish for sure. Not even Hebrewish, but anyway, yeah.
Look, if you know it in Russian, I can translate from Russian for you.
It's not, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Garmider of Russian.
Ah, the same word.
Garmida, just the G and the H, the way the Russians always do it, you know.
Yeah. Like a Balagan, like a mess.
Elka.
Von Ehrgeiz ist ungeflogen a Fledermaus. A Fledermaus, that's a bat. Flew out from, what is the Ehrgeiz?
From
Somewhere.
someplace.
Somewhere.
Sorry,
From somewhere.
from somewhere.
From
That
somewhere.
flew out.
Yeah.
Die Meuden haben sich angehabt bei die Cap, geschrien mit Vanumene Kolis. The girls grabbed their heads and shouted with some kind of voices. What is Vanumene voices?
As though they were possessed.
Yeah.
Oh, with voices as though they were possessed.
Yeah.
Wenn a Fledermäus versteppet sich bei a Moid in die Haar, ist das a Zeichen, als sie wird nicht ausleben das Jahr. So when a bat flies into a girl's hair, it's a sign that she's not going to live through that year. Man hat gebeten, Jakoven singen, und hat gesungen der Mames Aviglied. They asked Yaakov to sing, and he sang his mother's lullaby. Es ist die Poerim Wohlgefallen. That I don't understand. I'm sorry. The peasants did what?
Well, voil, you see that word again, voil, like we had V voil. It pleased them, Wohlgefallen. It was pleasing for them. This song that the mother's lullaby, they were moved by it.
Moved by the song, okay. Dennoch hat men verlangt von ihm, soll erzählen Meises. Then they asked him to tell stories. Hat erzählt Meises von der Gemorre. He told stories from the Gemorre, from the Midrash, and from the Midrash. Am starksten ist gefallen die Geschichte von dem Mann, was hat gehört von der Sonne auf jener Seite, Jam, was nimmt 400 Gilden für ihr Leun. Wie sie hat ihm ausgebett 6 silberne Betten mit ein golden Bett, mit 6 silberne Leiters und ein goldener Leiter. Wie sie hat sich weggesetzt gegen ihm a nackete, und die Tzitzis haben ihm angehäuben Patschen in Ponem. Und wie die Hur hat später angenommen dem jüdischen Glauben und die eigene Betten, was sie hat früher zugegräht, Verbotenheit hat sie später zugegräht wie sein gesetzlich Weib. Wow, that's a long sentence, isn't it?
Why don't you do it clause by clause?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, you like the story if you tell it bit by bit. It's kind of a neat story.
Yeah. Well, I kept going because I was hoping I would understand it better as it went on, but I think
No, but if you read it bit by bit, I think you'll get it.
Yeah. So I think I lost the beginning of that sentence.
Okay.
We have to move the page up a little bit.
Why don't you start with am starksten is gefallen? I think
Yeah,
that,
could somebody just take that part, because I'll struggle too much with the translation and you'll all get bored.
So the word gefallen means to like something. So am starksten is gefallen the strongest, the greatest, they liked the greatest, the story about the man um, uh, who heard from the prostitute on the auf jener Seite on the other side of the ocean, sea, was nimmt 400 Gulden für ihr Loin, that takes 400 Gulden as her price. Why don't you carry on from there?
Yeah, I didn't know the word prostitute, so that you helped me a lot.
Zona. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wie sie hat ihm ausgebet 6 silberne Betten mit ein golden bed. So she demanded from him ausgebet.
She set 6 silver beds. She set out
Uh-huh.
6 silver beds. She prepared the beds.
Oh, the beds, silver beds.
Beds. Mm-hmm.
With one golden bed, with 6 silver ladders. What are those?
Ladders.
Sorry?
Ladders. Later is a ladder.
Letters.
As far as I know, later is a ladder that you climb up on. I'll just look up.
Yeah.
Oh, ladders. Okay.
Ladders.
Yeah, that you climb up. Okay.
Yeah.
With 6 silver ladders and 1 golden ladder, wie sie hat sich weggesetzt gegen ihm Knekht und die Tzitzis haben ihm ungeheuben Patschen in Ponem.
Yeah.
How she thrust in front of him thrust herself naked in front of him, and her breasts.
No.
No,
Tzitzis, not. Oh, that's funny that you say that. No, his ritual, his garment, his ritual garment, his tzitzis, not sitzkis, tzitzis.
Oh God. And they started to go against his face.
No,
But he was being
to slap him, to beat him.
To slap him. In other words, he was being punished by that part of himself, which was ritual, which was the norms of the religion. They began to beat against him to alert him that he was doing something very wrong.
Und wie die Hure hat später angenommen dem jüdischen Glauben und die eigene Betten, was sie hat früher zugeredet, Verbotenheit. So, and the whore is the whore.
Yeah,
Afterwards,
prostitute.
Afterwards, she took the Jewish, what are Gläuben?
Religion, beliefs.
Beliefs. Oh, she converted to be a Jew?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, it's a gorgeous ending, yeah.
And her own beds, which she had earlier prepared for Bottenerheit. What is that?
Forbidden. The forbidden.
Forbidden beds.
I mean, this is for forbidden action.
Yeah. Hat sie später zugereiht wie sein gesetzlich Weib, and later she became his gesetzlich like a virtuous wife.
No, his legal wife. But later on, she prepared the beds like his legal wife, not the what do you call it, wanton beds. But,
and this is a story from the Mishnah?
No idea. This is a story from Basheva Singer.
Yeah. But Shemus is telling us this,
Oh, but he's telling us that Yaakov told this story, and that was the favorite story of the peasants.
Right.
If we had Raphael here, he would know if this
He
came.
wouldn't know whether it was really.
Yeah.
We could probably send him a question and ask him.
Well, no, but
Whether-
earlier he says that Yaakov was telling stories from the Gemara
Gemara,
and,
yeah.
and the Midrash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably he wouldn't have put it in here, Bashevis, if it weren't actually some sort of a midrash.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, but
It's an interesting story. Okay. Es ist nicht gering, das als über zu geben in Polish. Es ist nicht gering. What is gering?
Easy.
easy.
It's not easy to render this render all of this in Polish.
Uh-huh.
Aber die Goyim haben verstanden, but the Goyim understood it. Sie haben genommen ausfragen, was Zitzis seinen, und Jakob hat alles aufgeklärt. And they asked him, what are tzitzis? And Yaakov clarified everything. Wanda ist gesessen neben ihm und der Abschein von Feuer hat geglitten upon him. Wanda was sitting beside him and the glow of the fire was glowing on her, was shining on her face. Die Augen seien ihr geworden full mit fire, and her eyes were full of fire. Sie hat ihm abgenommen beim Orem, geton abis und a kush. And she took him by his, what is Orem?
Arm.
She took him in her arms and she gave him
No. She took his arm. She took his arm and
she took him by the arms maybe and gave him a kush is a kiss, and I thought abis was also a kiss.
No,
Kiss.
a bite.
a bite.
Oh, she gave him
Come
a
on, it's
bite.
got to get colorful here. Come on, you got to get, this is Bashevis.
Excuse me. Hat sich geprüft von ihr herausreißen, aber sie hat gehalten fest. He tried to quietly escape from her Ausreißen. What is that?
Tear herself away from.
So
Tear
pull himself
himself
away from her.
Yeah.
Trying to get away from the old girl,
Aber sie hat gehalten fest. What is fest?
Tightly.
Tight.
So-
But she held on tightly. Sie hat angespart an ihm ihr Bosom und hat gesetzt von ihr a Hitz wie von a Oven.
Ah.
So she abgespart. I don't know. I think she pressed her bosom to him and there was a heat in her as from an oven.
Jakob hat sich später abgegeben an Chesem, als hat erzählt, die Dosika Meister wandern. Jacob afterwards thought over why he had told her this particular story. Das hat ihr auf einen verstellten Öfen zugesagt, als ob sie wird ihm nicht zwingen, soll die Mannen jetzt, wird sie später nehmen für eine Weile. So what he thought out was this was, he showed her in a hidden way. He promised her that if she would not force him, that he should have sex with her. Parmanen is actually rape her, really. But there's die später nehmen, he would later on take her as a wife. Aber hat gemerkt machen als eine Zusagen, but was he really allowed to make such promises? Efter let sein Weib, perhaps his wife is still alive. When wir so kann Wanda sich Megaier sein, and how can Wanda convert? So kommt in Polen Kreuzstrof a Christ, was nennt on im jüdischen Glauben. A Christian who becomes Jewish will gets the death sentence in Poland. Und tor euch nicht Megaier sein Emerson, was tut es nicht von der Muna, nur zu können Chasna haben mit Ayid. And you also can't convert someone who does it not from faith, but from in order to be able to marry a Jew. Nu ich sink in Scholtach, how I'm sinking into hell. What Yaakov sich berät, Yaakov spoke to himself. If I krieg als tiefer in der net, I am creeping evermore into the net. Beim Dreschen ist gekommen in Dorf Abernteiber. At the end of the threshing, a bear trainer came into the village. Es ist gewesen das erste Mal, was Jakob hat so getroffen, Emerson voneinander Gegend. This was the first time that Jacob met someone from another area. Hat mitgebracht mit sich zwei Kunstmacher. He brought with him two magicians, a bear, and a malpa, a monkey, and a papagei, and a parrot, was hat gekonnt reden, that could speak, und gezeugen mit dem Schnabel, Gorel Fitlock, and that was able with its beak to pull out sort of pieces of paper that would tell your fate, whatever you call that.
Like fortune cards.
Fortune cards, thank you.
Yeah.
In Dorf is geworden a Gepilder. It became very noisy and active in the village. Die Kunstmacher haben vorgestellt auf Alonka, neben Zagaya Zeus. The magicians performed on the lawn near Zagayak's house. Alle Pöre mit die Weiber und Kinder seien gekommen gucken. All the peasants with their wives and children came to look. What Jacob and Oeth mitgenommen, and they brought Jacob along with them. Der Bär hat gekonnt gehen auf die hinterste Fies und tanzen. The bear could manage to go around on its two back feet and dance. Die Malpe hat geräuchert Taviolka, the monkey smoked a pipe und gemacht Kojelkas and did somersaults. Ein Kunstmacher ist gegangen auf die Hand und weggelegt dem nackten Rücken auf ein Brett mit spitzigen Nägeln. One of the performers, magicians, stood on his hands and laid himself naked, and lay down his naked back on a board with sharp nails, with pointed nails. Der andere hat gespielt auf a fiddle. The other one played on a fiddle. Trumeiter, played the trumpet, gepoikt in a pipel mit Glätter, and drummed on a drum with bells. Die Bäuerinnen seien geworden wild von Freude. The peasants were wild with happiness. Wanda hat genommen tanzen und springen, via plain Mädala. Wanda started to dance and jump like a little girl. Jakob hat gehalten, als Motor nicht gucken auf so eine Spielereien. Jakob had the opinion that you're not allowed to look at such goings on, playful goings on. She's ain't seat von Verblendenisch. It's one step away from von Verblendenisch mit Kishuf. It's one step away from becoming from the delusions of magic. Aber is gefallen auf ein Gedanke, that he felt he had an idea. Okay. He thought it was bad, but he nevertheless had an idea. Okay. Berntreiber wandert von Yishuv to Yishuv. A bear tamer goes from settlement to settlement. Efter hat amol ungespart in Josephus. Perhaps he had on some occasion reached Josephus. Efter weiß was ist geschehen mit sein Jacob's Mishpocha. Perhaps he might even know what happened to his Jacob's family. Nachdem wir die Leid haben aufgemacht, alle Kunsten, afterwards when the circus people had done all their tricks, zugebunden dem Bear, tied up the bear, and the malta and the monkey, to Beimer, they tied them to trees, und allein sich gegreiter reinzugehen in dem Bible, was they hoffen, was sie aufgestellt, and prepared to go into the booth that they had prepared for themselves, is Jacob noch gegangen. Jacob followed them. Hat gefragt, dem Berntreiber, he asked the bear trainer, is nicht einmal gewesen in Josephus. He asked him if he hadn't at one time been in Josephus. Der Kunstmacher hat ihm angeguckt, hat staunter. The magician looked at him amazed. Was geht es dich an, wo ich bin gewesen? What's it got to do with you where I've been? Ich bin dort gegangen. I am from there. Ich bin dort gewesen, einer von den Jiden. I was one of the Jews there. Die Jiden hat man alle ausgehalten. So the bear trainer says they killed all the Jews there. Es ist keiner nicht geblieben. No survivors. Wenig was very few. Wie also bist du gekommen nachher? How did you get here? Jakob hat ihm erzählt. Jakob told him. Der Kunstmacher hat das Schmitz getan, die Luft mit seinem Peitschel. The magician hit the air with his whip. Wollten die Jiden in Josephus dich auslesen, wenn sie wissen, wo du bist? Would the Jews from Josephus redeem you? Another word. Anyway, redeem you, ransom you,
ransom
you if they knew where you were. Ja, a Pidyon Shvuim is by uns a große mitzvah. Yes, ransoming of prisoners is a great mitzvah of us, virtue. Wollten sie Gott so verbringen sie die Besora als du lebst? Would they have paid for bringing them the news that you are alive? You're sicher, definitely. Wie ist dein Name? What's your name? Give me a Wortzeichen. They sollen wissen, as a dog, then and give me some indication that they should know that I'm telling them the truth. Jakob hat ihm gegeben, Zollsimanim. Jacob gave him a number of signs. Wordt angerufen, die Namen von der Rebbetzin, von die Kinder, und dem Namen von Rosh HaKahal. He gave them the names of the rabbi's wife and the children, and also the name of the head of the community. Der Kunstmacher Volksgeist nicht gekonnt schreiben. Apparent that the magician could not write, aber hat gemacht a Knopf in a Stickel that he made a knot in the string. Hat gesagt, Jakob and Nazaris, dies ist nicht vorbei, Josephus. He told Jacob that until now, he had not been through Josephus, aber kon dort optreten, but he can drop in over there. Over seinen noch geblieben Mieten, if there are still Jews there, but they say to Wissenton as Jacob left. He doesn't know that